Lions TV, we are sponsored by HK Fire and Safety, a company that is owned and operated by a Millwall fan, just like every single one of the sponsors that you can see on the screen right now. If you are going to do a bit of business in 2025, then please keep it in the Millwall family by checking out all of our sponsors' website links in the description below. This is your Thursday club video. We're looking back at last night's 1-0 win against Sheffield Wednesday at the Den and ahead to Saturday and another fixture at the Den against Southampton. As always, let's wind it back to last night and start out with the starting 11 that the gaffer picked to start the match. It was Crocombe in goal, Tristan Kramer right back, Caleb Taylor, and we saw the return of Jake Cooper, the club captain, alongside of him. Alfie Doughty at left back. It was Luke Cundle and Casper De Noor in the centre of midfield. Allegedly, Camille Nesley was there at some point playing in the 10. It was a Maku on the left, Ballo on the right, and up front as a lone striker, the big Garlic and Herb. I was going to say, is that the team that he should have gone with? We won the game for one. For two, it was slim pickings in terms of who was fit. Of course, we know by now, the wonderful hindsight we have, that the main man was back on the bench and he's what's won us the game, really. Let's be honest, I'll get onto that shortly. But going through the team, I thought Crocombe did well last night when called upon. Very open game. Definitely a very, very open game with plenty of chances. I think I saw the stats. We had something like 22 shots with about 10 minutes to go. By the way, my bad, I did advertise a live stream last night and I didn't follow through with it. Henry was off work ill yesterday. He's at mine at the minute. Well, he's gone to work today. He's better today a little bit. And he was in a right bad way yesterday. I wasn't going to leave him drive all the way up to the Den and then come back and just leave him sitting on his own. That's not going to do that. So I basically nursed him all day, as well as doing 6 loads of washing. By about 4 o'clock, I had a shower, poured myself a glass of red, which I think was the biggest mistake. And I just thought, do you know what, can I bother to stream? I couldn't stream in here because he was in and out of it. It's also his bedroom, by the way, it doubles up. But he was in and out of here. And I was in the front room. I needed to sort of set up out, and I've gone on far too long about Aziz. So I didn't do a live stream. I did advertise it. Then I pulled the social media post and the live stream. So I do apologise. That's one reason I didn't do a stream. Another one, at the minute, I'm so fucking angry. And I'm not sure it's warranted that I am, because if you look at where we are now, we're back 4th in the table, 2 points off the top 2. And we have been missing a lot of our bigger players. And now you've seen Doughty come back. Although he come back against Pompey, looked good, looks even better last night. Cooper returned, of course. Aziz coming off the bench, our main man that makes us tick, and the final missing piece of the puzzle in the final third. So I'm not sure if myself, and I know a lot of you have not been happy. I think that was more notable with the crowd last night. Was a really low crowd, and understandably so. Cold fucking Wednesday night in November. Game coming up Saturday the Den. I'm sure that one will be a sellout for Southampton. So I'm not sure whether I'm warranted, and we're warranted to be as downtrodden and as disappointed as we were. You know, we had a minor blip, and that was due to certain players being out. But I think you take major players out of any team across any league in any division, it's going to affect them. And you've got to say that Doughty, Cooper and Aziz, 3 there, you know, are 3 big players for us. We've still got others to come back. Gutted Smallbones out long term. Think he's brilliant. Would love to have him back round it. Coburn, of course, you could argue was out. I thought the Serb actually did really well last night. Much, much better. Getting into the game, we started on the front foot and we had a chance, and they had a chance. It was created by Kramer, who was my man of the match last night, and he is the one. Everything I ranted about and complained about and accused them of being all sorts, and they need to man up and they need to show some bollocks and some desire, and show that they're up for physical battles and a fight. He epitomised that last night. If you had 11 Tristan Kramers out there, we would have been absolutely golden. We won the game anyway, yes, but he was aggressive. You could just see he was up for it. He weren't having no shit. He was willing to drag the team to his standards, and he really fucking got in people's faces, got in front of our crowd at times, tried to roll him up, and it definitely rubbed off on our players on the pitch. The only chance we have, I mean, there's so many chances, and I am pushed for time again because I've got a fucking real job, and I do apologise. So I'm going to miss some bits and pieces out. You can discuss them in the comments. The only chance we had was created by Kramer. He cuts it back to Ballo. Ballo's first shot's weak, drags it to the goalkeeper. Okay, you get a second bite of the cherry, and he fires it into a defender who turns his back. Should be scoring that. We should be 1-0 up. And as we know, with us, especially at the end, the first goal is pivotal. because if a team scores against us, they'll then sit and we'll find it very, very difficult to break them down. Sheffield Wednesday then come forward. They had a couple of opportunities, and I said I think Crocombe did really well last night. And I know they are where they are, and people are saying, why are people getting excited? We've beat a team that are rock bottom, -4, nearly went out of business, etc., etc. But you still got to beat these teams. All right, granted, they won 3-0 in the derby, but Alex Neil pointed to it the other day. They've been away to Norwich, they've been away to Birmingham and got points. And I didn't think, to be honest, they was that much of a bad side. I thought they had intent. I thought they tried to come forward. I was worried when I saw that they had Liam Cooper, the ex-lead skipper, at the back. I thought the Serb's not going to get a kick out of him. I didn't even know he played for Sheffield Wednesday, to be honest, but a very good, strong, old school experienced player. And I thought we bullied the Serb last night. I thought the Serb held his own. Dominic Iorfa, a player we'd looked at previously, he's a tank, isn't he, of a fullback. And he got run ragged by Amaku. At points, it was just Amaku's final ball. It's always that final ball, and I always credit Amaku with he's willing to take that responsibility. He does look aggressive when he goes forward, and he'll do like a Maradona against England type run in World Cup '86, and instead of tucking it away past Peter Shilton for 2-0, he'll just fall over. Or it's just that final bit of quality. I don't know whether it's head loss or what it is, but I'm taking nothing away from him because across the pitch, Kamil Nesley and Tierno Ballo, wow. I don't know how they keep getting put in the team in front of Race Bangura-Williams. Race Bangura-Williams is a big lump. I've said that before. Yes, he sometimes plays wide. I would like to see him play on the 10 more, but he's strong on the ball. He's composed on the ball. He comes deep and builds from deep. I see him a lot of times last night when he come on in like deep, wide, right back positions, like getting us out of holes and winning free kicks. But Ballo's doesn't seem to have much of a football brain unless he's running forward. And Kamil Nesley, they was both absolutely non-existent last night. I couldn't get the Millwall TV to work, so I watched it on the through Sheffield United commentary. And even they said something along the lines of Nesley. Not heard his name. We've not said his name all night. He was absolutely... He's shot to pieces. Look, let's make no mistake. He isn't a bad player. We know he's not a bad player, but he needs to be in the side, full of confidence. We're knocking teams over, winning 3-0 against West Brom, 1-0 against Leicester, 2-0 against Stoke, whatever it is. That's when he'll thrive, Nesley. That's when Ballo will thrive. They're not players for games like last night, and Nesley especially is so shot of confidence. I actually feel sorry for him at this point. I don't know what we can do to rectify that. A long spell out of the team's not going to help him out, is it? But it's looking like that's what it's going to be, and it should definitely be Saturday. If Ballo or Nesley are anywhere near that starting 11 on Saturday, something is seriously wrong. Something is seriously wrong because Bangura-Williams come on along with Aziz, of course, and he has to be in that starting 11 on Saturday, as far as I'm concerned. I feel massively off. The chances that they had in the first half was the one shot from distance which deflected. Crocombe does really well to readjust his body and tip it round the post left-handed. And then the one on half-time, just on half-time from Barry Ballard. Right, what a fucking... He's an horrible little midget. And I said to Henry, he must realise that we can see this here, you know. And he's 5'2". If he was 6'4" and he weren't a footballer, he'd probably get away with a little... I can talk. He'd probably get away with a little quiff, the little coiffed barnet at the front. But he must know the cameras can get here. This is the problem, Bal. Got to lose it, mate. I think he's had a couple of hair transplants. But it's time to go, as someone once said. He's got but regardless, what a fucking player. He's nearly as old as me, I think, the bastard. He's about 38 years old, isn't he? Something along that, 35, 38. But the one he hits is absolutely brilliant. And Crocombe saves it. And if Crocombe had let that in, we'd be fucking going bananas at Crocombe, but we'd be going absolutely nuts. All sorts of food getting thrown in there. We'd be going absolutely nuts, all bananas at Crocombe. I've seen a lot of goalkeepers like that, and Henry said to me the same. Have let goals in like that recently. David Ray let one in, didn't he? In the North London derby from Richarlison. There's been a couple of others recently. So it's a really good save because goalkeepers in that instance, backpedaling, shit, know they're under pressure, got a lot of time to think about it, feel disorientated, and you see them like crumble and flip into the net and miss the ball, as Raya did. As I'm sure there's been others lately. I'm sure someone let me know in the comments, but definitely very recently, people have been scoring from the halfway, and I think it was in the lower league game I saw in the EFL highlights. But it's a brilliant save from Crocombe. He does really, really well. Keeps it at 0-0. First half, I'm struggling to think of other chances we had clear cut. Amaku did put a couple of good balls across the box. I know I said his final ball weren't great. He's put them into areas the Serb couldn't quite get there. Caleb Taylor had a header. But nothing too much in the first half other than that early double chance from Ballo to my memory. I could be wrong. Please check me in the comments if I am. Moving on to the second half. Much better. Driving forward, creating chances, knowing that we're need to hurt this opposition, and it doesn't help us at the dead. I think we'll be more confident going into Saturday than we would have done last night because, Southampton, all right, we'll get onto the league position in a minute, but they are where they are, and there's a bigger club. We're not expecting to maybe beat Southampton on a good run of form. Whereas we're expected to beat Sheffield Wednesday. No league win since September. Just come off the back of a 3-0 defeat in the derby against Sheffield United. So we're expected to pump them, and I think that doesn't always help us. Coupled with its midweek, low crowd, we was low on confidence. We've not been firing. We lost 3-1 to Pompey, 4-0 away at Birmingham. But that's why I'm going to say, I think for those saying, well, don't get excited, we should be beating these easy. I think last night was a good result. I think it was a good battle. I really enjoyed the second half. I wasn't enjoying it as much until we scored because I needed that relief. But we created a fucking lot of chances in the second half. Again, you might argue to the contrary. That's because Sheffield Wednesday is shit and they're rock bottom of the table. I don't think they're that bad. I really don't. And now that Chancery's gone, I think they'll get hold of it. They are potentially building for League One. I think they're rumours going around they're going to try and sign Duncan Watmore. And that's no disrespect. Diane Watmore. That's no disrespect to Sheffield Wednesday. I'm sure their fans will be the first to admit that now with their points deduction and where they are. They probably are getting ready to build for League One, but I thought there was a physical side that wanted to have a go. And I feel that played into it for us because if they had sat back and gone, we ain't going nowhere, I think that could have hampered us. But we kept going, we created chances. The Serb scores a really good goal. Yes, he was offside, which is unfortunate for him. Then he tees up Kundal for an absolute sitter, and Kundal somehow stabs it over the bar. There was another one as well. Oh, Maku. Fucking hell, head loss. No, it wasn't. Maku's one was from a rebound. The Nesley one, Conor O'Mara said in the group chat, I'll see it after the game, he said, I think Nesley was trying to find the seat where he did his reveal video when he first signed for the club. I mean, all he's got to do is open his body up, which he sort of did, and just pass it low into the net. The goalkeeper wouldn't have got there in time. He was about 7-8 yards in front of him. Really, really shocking from Nesley. And then he was substituted, and there was cheers. The O'Mara's covered this last night in their video. They said the cheers were, they think, for Bangura Williams. Because Kieran said it looked like that he'd thrown a wobbly initially with a reaction from the crowd. I'm not sure whether it was a bit of he's getting subbed off, so cheer him. But I think it was more Aziz and Bangura Williams, who a lot of fans want to see involved, were coming on at the same time. And they had an instant impact. They really did have an instant impact. And I'm going to say this. Aziz tried a few things that didn't come off. But that's because he's obviously just got back in the team. It's going to take him time to find his range. Okay, but just his desire and his willingness and give me the ball and he moves the ball quick. His feet moves quick. His ideas are quick. He don't fuck around. And you just got the crowd lifted. You can just see it rubs off on the players. And I've said it time and time again. We are a one-man team in the final third. I'm going to change that statement and say he is the missing piece. Because as soon as he comes on last night, he is the missing piece in us going forward. Because all the other players went, they all fucking turned from David Banner into the Incredible Hulk and they all just wanted to be involved. Fuck me. And they know it easier and there's nothing wrong with that. But we need to wrap them up and cut them all. I actually said to Henry after he scored, if we score a second, I'd honestly take him back off and keep him fucking fresh for Saturday. Because we know, and now teams will know, that he's our main man. They've got to try and, one, kick him, or two, stop him playing. And I'm sure teams like Southampton now will come to the den on Saturday, potentially trying to double up on him. But I think you can double up on him, triple up on him. It doesn't matter. You know what he's going to do some of the time when he doesn't, confuse everyone, trick everyone, do what he wasn't expecting. But even when he does do what you know he's going to do, they still can't stop him. He is that fucking good. And he gets the goal, onslaught of pressure, ball into the box. I said Ivanovic disallowed goal. Nesley's missed the sitter. Kundal's missed the sitter. I think Caleb Taylor was very unlucky to not open his account. I think a Sheffield Wednesday defender threw his body on the line and deflected that one wide for a corner. I think it could have been from that corner or a potential cross within the same pattern of play. That Aziz arrives in the box, heads it down, 1-0. Job done, as easy as that cheesy line that I went with for the video last night, and he's back, and now all of a sudden with Doty, Cooper and him now, Saturday looks a lot more interesting, it looks a lot more balanced, it looks like we could be, and I didn't even know last night when I saw this stat this morning on Sky Sports, wherever it was, Sky Bet, that we've actually, that's some really good stats at home. So we'll be looking to build on that. Did Sheffield Wednesday threaten us after that? I thought we defended quite well. They did have a shout for a penalty towards the end. I think it was Cooper that stuck a foot out. I think their player was a bit too easy to go down. They had the crossbar as well. So there was definitely chances at either end. I've missed probably a hatful of our chances. 22 shots we had. You can't on the screen, but 86 minutes gone. But look, as far as I'm concerned, Aziz is back. He's the missing piece of the jigsaw in the final third. Drags everyone else's levels up. Kramer was outstanding. Nesley and Ballo, don't be in the team on Saturday, please. Alex Neal, if you're watching, don't fucking choose them, Gaffer, because they're gone. Other than that, it's looking rosy again. We sit fourth and 2 points off the top two, and we move on to Saturday's visitors. As we know by now, and I've mentioned about 15 times, it's Southampton. And they're managed by this dude, Tonda Eckhart. He hasn't even got a Wikipedia page. He was an amateur footballer, and he has now got the interim job at Southampton. I don't know a lot about him other than two things. He's 13 years younger than me, which makes me feel very old always, and that he's done the business since he's come in to Southampton, because since he took over from Will Steele, who was sacked after their 2-0 loss against Preston, you can see that they've won 4 straight games, scoring 13 goals, is that? In the process. 5-1, they beat the Anoraks last Saturday, an absolute thumping at the Valley. They was 4-0 up at half-time, and last time out against Leicester, they were 3-0 up. Leicester got one back late on, I think, but they're looking strong just in time for a visit to SE16. It still sees them sitting, though. 13th in the table, although they're only 4 points below us. It is very, very tight at, well, the top and middle, really. As you can see, we sit fourth, and we could potentially go into the top 2 if we beat Southampton at the Den on Saturday, and Stoke and Middlesbrough don't pick up points. One of them's playing Hull, one of them is playing Derby, and Derby are doing well now, so it could happen. But we need to win the game. Will we win the game? Let's move on to a prediction. And so, this is your pre-match prediction, and here we go. I'll be really honest, before last night, I would have said to you we're going to get battered by Southampton. It's a difficult one. I have missed out the team selection. Not playing, I've just realised I've done that. So I'm going to tell you the team that I would go with. And if he goes with his team against Southampton, I think we could possibly get a result. I would go with Crocombe in goal. Kramer right back. I mean, I know we all wanted him at centre back, but I think he's actually better at right back, and he gives us so much more going forward as well. Taylor and Cooper to continue the twins alongside each other. Doty was brilliant again. He was yanked off last night in favour of Danny Mack. I'm sure that's to keep him ready for Saturday. Denor and Cundall in midfield. Don't think Denor's been doing too great lately. Get caught in the ball a few times. And a couple of people in the comments said Cundall played well. Maybe I just don't like Cundall, I don't know. But I didn't think he done great last night, to be honest. But I think, again, process of elimination, it will be those two. I will play Reece Bangura-Williams in a 10. On the right, the main man, Fenwa Aziz. If he's ready to start him. If not, start him and then take him off, but get what you can out of him. Adam Amaku on the left. He's so nearly there, Amaku, isn't he? Amaku, if he had, Aziz's ball skills, was as composed on the ball as Aziz, he'd be almost as good as Aziz, but he just isn't. But listen, he gives his all. He's got the fire in the belly. He had it last night, and I'll continue him there. And of course, up front again, no one else available other than Macaulay Langstaff, but I definitely stick with a big serve. I thought he played well last night. Okay, prediction time. I am going to go for a 2-2 draw. I would love to win the game. Of course I would. But I think Southampton will have a lot to offer, especially coming forward, especially with Armstrong up front. They've got a lot of good players. We're still light in areas, especially in the centre of midfield, and I think that could have an effect on the game. Not sure what formation they play, but I think they'll come forward at us a lot, and I think, Denor's not been playing great lately. I love him, but he's not been as good as it can be, and I think Cundall is not our first choice. I think that's obvious and fair to say. So I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. I'm going for the Serb to get them both, actually, and silence some critics. We've got to get behind this boy, because I thought we did all right last night. Set up Cundall for one, like I said, scored a goal, scored against Pompey. Let's hope now that he's going to start finding his feet. I'm going for 2 Aziz assists and 2 Ivanovic goals in a 2-2 draw. We want 3, but it is what it is. And so that's your lot for this Thursday Club. That's been very long, and I've got to try and edit that now before I head off to work. All that's left for me to say is I've been off a bit lately. I went every league game and cup game right up until the first one I missed was Birmingham. I missed Coventry in the cup home as well. Didn't go to Birmingham because I had to work. Didn't go to Portsmouth because I was in Prague. Last night Henry was ill. But don't worry, I'm not shirking my Lions TV responsibilities. I will be back at the Den on Saturday, and I'm going to go to Bristol City next Saturday as well. But I'll see you on Saturday at hopefully a sold-out SE16. If you're going, please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.